I found out my closest friend was pilfering from my company, so I let her entangle herself further before alerting the authorities. Sarah and I had been thick as thieves since our second year of college. She stood by me as maid of honor at my wedding, became godmother to my daughter, and was the first person I called when my bookkeeping firm finally turned a profit after 3 years of scraping by on instant noodles. "We need to celebrate," she said, arriving with a bottle of sparkling wine and tears in her eyes. "I'm so proud of you." When tax season overwhelmed me, Sarah stepped up without hesitation. She had an accounting degree, but was stuck in retail management, always grumbling about being undervalued. I offered her freelance work managing client invoices and deposits. "You're a lifesaver," I told her, watching her sort my messy files with surgical precision. For 6 months, things ran smoothly. Clients raved about my streamlined service. Income surged. I even brought on 2 part-time staff members. Then my bank called about discrepancies. 3 checks were deposited into different accounts, the manager said. "Same routing number, but the account numbers don't match yours." I asked for copies of the deposits. My heart sank. Sarah's signature was on every one. She'd set up accounts using slight variations of my business name, adding LLC here, solutions there. Similar enough to deceive busy clients, distinct enough to siphon funds. I could have confronted her right away. Instead, I chose to uncover the full extent of her scheme. I installed security cameras and began tracking everything closely. What I found was staggering in its boldness. Sarah had been skimming for months, starting with small amounts, then entire payments. She'd fabricated invoices, rerouted client checks, and even persuaded 3 clients to pay her directly for expedited services. The worst blow? She'd stolen my client list and was launching her own firm, leveraging my contacts and reputation. At our weekly coffee meetup, she whined about financial struggles while sporting a new designer handbag. "I wish I could travel like you," she sighed, showing me photos of her weekend getaway in Sonoma, paid for with my stolen funds. I smiled and nodded, quietly gathering evidence. The breaking point came when she poached my top client. "Sarah says she can offer better pricing," Mrs. Thompson explained when she called to end our contract. "She really gets our needs." That night, I compiled 6 months of proof, security footage, bank records, email exchanges, and a detailed timeline. I tallied the total theft, $23,047. I called Sarah one last time. "Want to meet for lunch tomorrow?" I asked. "I have something important to talk about." She agreed, likely thinking I'd propose a partnership. At the restaurant, I set a folder on the table. "I know about the accounts," I said softly. Her face paled. "I can explain." "No need," I cut in. "I've been tracking everything for months." I showed her the bank statements, forged signatures, and client emails. Her hands trembled as she sifted through the evidence. "Please," she whispered. "I'll pay it back. I was desperate." "Your mom passed away 4 years ago," I said evenly, "and you spent my money on trips and luxury goods." She broke down, pleading for forgiveness, vowing to make amends. I stood, leaving the folder. "The police will be in touch soon," I said. "I wanted you to see what they'll see first." 3 days later, she was arrested at her retail job. The charges included embezzlement, fraud, and identity theft. The evidence was airtight. At trial, she claimed I'd authorized her to handle the accounts. Her lawyer portrayed me as a spiteful ex-friend seeking vengeance. Then the prosecutor played the security footage. Sarah, opening mail, forging signatures, and depositing checks while I was out. She was sentenced to 18 months. I recouped most of the funds through restitution and insurance. My business emerged stronger than ever. Clients admired how I'd handled the betrayal with professionalism. Last week, Sarah called from prison. "I'm getting out next month," she said. "I hope we can be friends again." I ended the call without a word. Some betrayals are too deep to forgive, even when you see them unfolding.